Hello, Jade.
Hello, Alyssa. Epic shows that shaped, I mean, we're all comedians, so obviously we all love these
y'all
shows.
are comedians.
Well, you're a comic.
I get to laugh at y'all's jokes.
Courtney, you're funny.
Thanks.
Courtney, you're funny.
I
Courtney, you're
try
funny.
a little bit.
Yeah, but like, let's set up the time, right? It was the 80s. Sitcoms were like these family sitcoms. Everything was like kind of goody two-shoes. And then comes along Seinfeld, this very popular stand-up comedian from the 80s. And they have a show about absolutely nothing that just becomes the most epic. I think it was like the most influential show of all time is what they said.
And I think it's
Who
interesting.
said that?
Somebody said it.
For me personally, I feel like Seinfeld radicalized TV because Seinfeld really kind of set the tone for like having 4 main characters, these really strong character archetypes.
And I feel like they were like down for you to hate the characters because they are so unlikable sometimes. And like Jerry Seinfeld did situational humor, and I feel like he like really popularized that with that show. So we all were like, yeah, I feel like it bred a whole new style of comedy and comedians.
I don't know about the timeline of this, but for me, George Costanza.
Oh my God.
What he did to Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman.
No!
That like has always I don't know like which came first, Pretty Woman or Seinfeld. Probably Seinfeld. But anyways, I was always like so scarred by him, and I was like, he was mean to Julia Roberts.
Wait, can we fact check that? I would love to know that.
Well, Pretty Woman came out in 1990.
Oh, so that's after Seinfeld.
Yeah, but I saw Seinfeld after I saw Pretty Woman.
Right.
I was always like, that is. But you know what I mean? That's how a character, like your part in a movie, can really like change. Yeah.
But I feel like that's a really good point. Like the protagonist was always this lovely, sort of like unbreakable, like charming character that we all loved and cheered for. But then we started to cheer for people that are like, oh yeah, he's an asshole, but he's right.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because sometimes you can tell that something even worse is going to happen. They created cringe TV. They created that form of TV where it's like, no, please no. Like it was visceral. Like it was a visceral experience watching. As in Friends was like a softer hit. You know what I mean?
Well, I do feel like Seinfeld had like ego to it. It was very egotistical.
Yeah, they didn't want to.
He wrote in that he was like a stand-up writing his own show. It was like Entourage. Like it's kind of like.
But he was a stand-up writing.
I know,
what do
but
you mean?
kind of like who cares?
It's
right?
like
I care.
So many people care.
I want that.
No,
I wanted
it's
that my whole life.
It's what I always feel like I get made fun of for being genuine and sincere, and Seinfeld really led the way in that. Oh, you're sincere.
Okay, we're going a little
You have a genuine interest in something, loser. And Seinfeld is the reason for that.
Also, I just have to say, I feel like because there were so many women on that show, like Elaine, iconic, but if you're a feminist, you watch Seinfeld and you think Seinfeld's better than.
Well, he dates
you watch Friends.
You watch Friends.
If you're a feminist, you watch Friends because.
But I disagree because some would say. I don't want to say me because I really like the women in that. Some would say that the women were kind of like lighthearted and kind of all the same.
How
like,
are you going to say
sort
that
of,
about?
They were all kind of similar.
Bum. That was a bomb.
But-
Monica was the most classic Type A perfectionist OCD champion.
Yeah.
Champion.
And she championed for. I like feel like I related to all 3 of those women.
Hashtag OCD champion.
Yeah, so she's literally a George Costanza. She's literally like a very similar character.
But like, yes, no, she wasn't. Are you joking?
Yeah,
George
she was.
No, she wasn't.
He was
Monica
a perfectionist.
Was a chef. Okay, it doesn't matter. Monica was a chef.
Monica wasn't always a chef, by the way. She became a chef later on.
Duh.
Oh my God.
What are you saying?
What if there was a spinoff with Phoebe and Kramer?
That would
and
be
they
incredible.
like dated. What if we like
No,
merged
Phoebe
those
would never
worlds?
date Kramer. Phoebe had
She
taste.
would.
Okay, she had taste.
Wait, also, did you know that the pilot originally didn't have Elaine in it?
Whoa,
What?
I didn't.
Yeah, and then they were like, you need a female POV. And Elaine like makes that show.
Oh my God, Elaine's one of my favorite
Elaine.
characters.
Yeah.
So,
Like, I can't.
That's the 90s.
All right, so that's the early, so that's the first of
early
its.
Seinfeld.
Also, there was no show that was ever started with stand-up. Like stand-up was like kind of a booming art form in the 80s. And there was not like a lot of guys like Jerry Seinfeld. There was like, the big characters.
Yeah.
Like who was famous in the 80s, really? Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah.
It's like Roseanne.
Rodney
too.
Dangerfield.
Yeah, it was a lot of
Yeah.
like these kind of aggressive male types. He's like, like, and then comes on Jerry, this like Jewish sort of like, I'm just a guy. Like, and he sort of started this whole brand of like white male comics. So Jerry Seinfeld, if you're watching this,
but I
it's
like
your
Jerry.
fault.
I like Jerry because I felt like Jerry was like, we all know Jerry.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I feel like that's why Seinfeld was a little bit more realistic and easy to like connect to. You know,
There's also that moment I feel like whenever Jerry would like do something or like something messed up would happen, someone would cut in line, a bathroom situation, and there's that second where he goes, am I gonna say something? And then he was like, I gotta say something. You know that guy where you're just like, okay, I think relax. I think it's like not your job to like correct society's weirds.
I mean, I think that it's, Mary Tyler Moore was a show that changed the trajectory for women in the 70s because it was like this working woman. Did Jerry really do that? He just kind of came on there and was like, oh my God.
I know. I think he just stereotyped
is it really that good? Is it really that good? Like Seinfeld, I know what you guys are all saying. It was amazing. But like, was it? Because I think that it's like the show about nothing. And obviously, I'm here to kind of be against Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, it really did kind of encourage mediocrity.
It's a mid show. It's a mid show about the mid man.
Let's
talk about Friends.
Yes, Friends.
So I feel like Friends like came after Seinfeld. Obviously was in the same like time slot.
Yeah.
But expanded. Group of friends, New York, kind of like the same basis. But I feel like Friends was like more friendly, wholesome. Like even the comedy was like less sarcastic in that way. Like the whole show wasn't sarcastic,
like a
but it was like
more genuine. And I think too, like the characters having like 3 women that were like fully formed, different personalities, and then 3 men that, I mean, honestly, the women for me are really like what make Friends.
Yeah.
And
I
like,
agree.
So it's like you can't necessarily say like one person is the lead, but obviously it's probably Rachel Green. She's probably like the lead.
She's probably like,
well, she is.
I feel like Monica led a lot of the episodes.
No, it's all based around Rachel Green.
because she was the one that lost the weight.
Like, yes,
right. Yeah.
No, but Rachel Green in the pilot episode leaves her dentist husband. It's like her.
Yeah.
She's like, it's like her story, and then everybody kind of is like around her.
It's like built around it.
But yeah, I think it was just like, to me, it was obviously there was still a lot of kind of like nothing plots and stuff, but it just, I always prefer shows that are more sincere because I'm a sincere person. Mm-hmm. And whenever there's a show where it's just like everybody's just like, oh, what's going on? Nothing.
Her Seinfeld episode.
Oh, wait, what?
Seinfeld.
I feel like also Friends made all these like iconic moments, which we'll get into, obviously. But I feel like there's so many more with Friends because it's so much more relatable. And the cast is so much larger. Like they cover like 6 different types of people. And there were just like more
6 different type of white people.
6 different types of white people. But I like, for me, like, I guess I just also do have more of a nostalgic connection to Friends because when I think I was probably like, in elementary school. And I just remember watching Friends with my sisters and being like, I remember being like this close to the TV.
Yeah.
Like I was so obsessed.
Why are you so damn close to the TV?
I had explained
I needed glasses, first of all. But I remember getting so close to the TV. I was just like mesmerized because I was like, look at these adults and their outfits and everything about it. And Phoebe changed my life.
Yeah.
Like that character made me be like, oh, I can be the weirdo. And like, cause I've always been a little like on the fringes. And I remember
we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that.
Like seeing this show and I would just be like dying laughing to the point where like we have this like moment where we were watching it and I remember laughing so hard that my like grandma came in and she was like you gotta turn this off, you guys are way out of control. But I just remember those were like, it was just the funniest show in the world.
Yeah.